Mazel Show is back. We left you guys hanging last week.
I know. Ooh, not very nice.
Not very nice.
We give you all the deets in this one, but also just like a little challenge at the end.
Yeah, a little challenge, update on our lives.
Little gut check. Little pro-con track.
Pro-con track.
All the things.
Few
laughs. Luckily, Briggs didn't break out of his room. Hopefully he's asleep.
And we're back.
Check it out.
Perfect.
Welcome to the Mizell Show.
An inspiration for a new generation.
Hi, I'm Alanna Mizell, a loving mother of two, a devoted wife to Steven, and an entrepreneur helping women realize their dreams and potential.
And I'm Steven Mizell, caring father of two, a devoted husband to Alanna, and a driving force to help young men prepare for life after college football.
And if that wasn't enough, we're a biracial couple.
She was raised in the North, but I was raised in the South.
The only thing normal about our lives, who am I kidding? It's never normal around here. Join us for the Mizell Show.
Right now. All right, we're back on the Mizell Show. We changed it up on you guys. Y'all don't actually know when we record, but we changed it up this time. We're doing
we pretty much talk about it every time we hop on.
We do, but this time we're being risque and recording during nap time.
Briggs doesn't like those.
Briggs doesn't like that, so Briggs will probably make an appearance on this one. You might hear him yelling, screaming, jumping.
Notice that Adele is well behaved in her room.
Oh yeah.
Doing what she was supposed to.
Even our nighttime recording, she does what she's supposed to do.
Right, such a firstborn.
And then Briggs so it should be like the Mizell Show featuring Briggs.
Right. Briggs.
What's up? Sub Briggs. So we're recording during nap time, and on this particular day,
on this day in 2021,
we are talking about
that felt historical there.
The last episode we talked about change is inevitable.
Yeah.
But we're also recording. So Alanna is a multitasker. She's either usually drinking tea, freestyling.
I don't have a tea or water.
But you're doing your nails though, so you're doing something.
You ain't wrong.
So Alanna is doing her nails as we go through this podcast. Right. And shout out to Alanna. During COVID, she found a new art.
Shout out to me.
Of trying to do her own. First of all, you had to because the nail shops were closed.
They shut down.
But even when they opened back up, we kind of talked about, okay, this could be something for you to go to and get away from the family, have a little time at the nail salon.
Right.
But we realized you actually have more fun. Not more fun. It's more enjoyable.
Girls, they wanna.
Here we go. Here's a song. It's more enjoyable for her to do it herself.
Yeah.
And so now, through the power of YouTube and Google and
it's all from Olive and June's
Instagram.
Instagram, yeah, they do different mini clubs.
So a little bit of tutorials.
Yes. I'm all about a tutorial. I'm a visual learner.
She's a visual learner. So shouts out to
100%
Olive and June. Alanna has become a huge fan of them.
Literally a huge fan.
And so when we post this podcast, we'll do the usual post. We'll post something on Instagram. But we'll also take a picture of her large contraption of all of her.
I feel like you just outed me. I didn't know you were going to say that. But that's getting cut.
But this is very real. I think I like it. It could be just like all in a random bag. Your last nail setup was a hot mess.
Okay. I feel aggressive.
Come on now. Compared to what you have here.
You ain't wrong. But we're outgrowing this current.
All right. So we post this on the gram. We will show you Alanna's uptick. In her nails. But all this to be said, it's kind of a segue into our part 2 of this episode is that
definitely is a segue.
How's it a segue though? I mean,
so I had never planned on
doing your nails with this
doing my own nails.
No, you really haven't.
I certainly didn't plan on owning the number of shades that I do. And
y'all will see it next week.
Didn't plan on honing in on nail design.
Myself. But also, with that being said, your expertise has got you a you're a part of the Olive and June club
ambassador.
now?
Yep.
You're an ambassador for Olive and June.
I have a code for 20% off.
20% off.
Whoop, whoop. We all love 20% off. I love anything that's discounted.
Especially something that you like and you're passionate about.
Right. Like, I'm not going to try to get one if I don't like it.
But also, it's not just the color of the nails. It's also the company, the woman behind it,
yes,
the brand.
SGT. She's authentic. She's pure. And she's a mama. She owned nail salons in LA. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
But that's what we do, though. We just talk about things on the podcast. Like,
yeah. But I didn't expect all of that. But what had happened was my sister and I really like pretty things.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. We
That's why you
really
married
like
me.
Pretty things. It's 100% why I married you.
Thank you.
We really like pretty things, and so that's why I originally had purchased it. Was the box was pretty.
The box was pretty.
The box that it came
in.
in.
The branding of Olive and June.
On point. And then I used it. So I was open to the product.
Yeah,
open
to the product.
Open to change.
Yes. Okay.
And because I was
Here
open
comes
to
the segue.
change, because I was open to change, it helped me adapt to doing my own nails and all that. So had you not been open to change or open to a conversation like we talked about last time, like always accept the conversation, one of your biggest regrets.
Listen to the last episode. Check that out. But yes, you're right.
Was not accepting a coffee with somebody. And you look back on it and you're like, what was I doing there? And so really what we're trying to tell you guys is sometimes the change that you need and that you're praying for. We were praying for stability and time with our family. Mm-hmm. And even from an Olive and June nail perspective, I didn't realize that me doing my own nails at home would then spawn time specifically with Adele. Like I did her toenails and her fingernails this morning. And she loves it. She loves it. She wants to know what's on my nails when she wakes up from nap. All those things.
But also another thing about this time that you're able to do this is when you finish, the sense of accomplishment, the sense of peace that you have with yourself then gives you the energy to go back to being the mom and the wife. And
and it allows me to be creative. And those are the things that I know that I need. So one thing that Steven was struggling with just when he was the director of player relations wasn't just family and time and things like that we're longing for, but it was also the ability to not be held back.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we start looking and thinking about our next steps. You got to do the old fashioned, and I think people like make fun of this, but a list of yays and nays is like pros and cons will never go wrong. And so we wrote things down, but the pros and cons list was thrown out the window when we had this conversation with a friend of ours at dinner. And so we're
sort of though.
I'm just saying the fact that we were looking at the pros and cons thinking we were going into a specific industry.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
We're shaping around like, oh, if we do this, we'll go here, this program here.
Yeah. Okay,
and so we're at a dinner and we're just like hanging out. We're all recapping, catching up, and he mentions that he's looking for a specific role.
He literally, you could tell that he was frustrated because he wanted this role to be filled. Mm-hmm. And
he knew what he thought he wanted in the role.
Right. He said, do you know anybody, blah, 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 blah.
And so we started thinking through, as a director of player relations, recent graduates. We know this guy.
Right.
And then he kept talking, and then he just looked at me and was like, would you be interested? Because all these things I'm naming are something that I think you could be good at.
Right. It's like the light bulb went off, and you could see his face go, ooh, you. I need you.
And then me and Alanna left and sat in the car. Was like, me. And so, long story, with that being said, we were both kind of, it was a refreshing, like, this could be something different, but this is not what we had planned for. We talked on this podcast about flying to Charlotte and taking the leap of faith and all these things to get into this industry. And then all of a sudden you're like, what does it look like if I just leave the industry that I thought I was so supposed to be in, like, from now on? But
for forever.
Forever.
That's what you were thinking.
That's what you're thinking. And so it took him, our friend of ours, a few text messages, a few coffees, a few meetings, like trying to really, I don't want to say court me, but open our eyes to, hey, you kind of already do this. It's just in a different format.
Right.
And I have been in higher education for 15 years.
Yeah.
And to step out of higher education and go into something that I am completely, on paper oblivious to, it's like, oh, I guess we should definitely think about this.
Right. Well, and what was interesting is that pros and cons list, the must-haves for you to take a new job, what we didn't really realize is that on that pros and cons list, we never listed that it needed to be in the industry that you were previously in. We never said it needed to be higher ed. We never said
we just
it
were
needed to
comfortable
be athletics.
with that. And again,
it was kind of like an unwritten thing that's what we were going to do.
Yeah. And it goes back to what we said last week, afraid to have the conversation. So many people in this current situation, let's say I was in, they wouldn't have the conversation because it's not in the industry they think they have to be in.
Right.
And so with me not taking that next coffee or responding to his text messages just because it's not the industry, we would have missed out on Steven's next opportunity.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah. And come to find out, what Steven is doing now was actually forecasted when he was younger.
Stop.
So this week, brother shows up, gets his portfolio of products, and that, I would say that was probably your biggest fear, was just not knowing the products.
The biggest fear is not knowing the products, not knowing. So let's just go ahead and spill the beans. I am now working for a company called ABB, and it is a
ABB or ABB?
ABB.
Okay.
It's called ABB, and it's a it's a global production company, and they have a wide variety of products that they sell to different companies, to help the companies go, to help the housing market, everything you probably never see but you use.
You don't know you need, but you need it.
You need it, and we create it. And so with ABB, I'm a product management specialist, and so I work very closely with the supply chain group. I work very closely with the engineers, the manufacturers. I report to a product brand manager, and we kind of serve as
make people happy. That's
my job is to make people happy, to think outside of the box, to help support him, to help look at the ins, the outs, the numbers, the margins. Like it's a jack of all trades, but you're learning so many different skill sets. You're learning and working with marketing. You're working with sales. You're working with finance, and making sure if you present this portfolio, will the production numbers look like they're supposed to look? And it's crazy. So Alanna mentioned that I go to work for the first day. I get a booklet of the 12 items that we specifically work with in our group. And behold.
Did you know that I sell makeup? Not only do I sell makeup, but the makeup that I sell is 3D makeup, which allows you to highlight and contour your face in a super simple compact. As a mom, I could not survive without my simplified routine. Not only that, but it's exactly what you need. Exactly when you need it, all in one spot. Go ahead and check out Alanna Mizell on Instagram or alannamizell.com to learn more.
Some of you guys know my dad owns a low voltage wiring company called American Marketing Systems.
What does low voltage even mean, Steve?
Low voltage means he doesn't do electrician work. He does the lower voltage in security systems, telephone systems, fire alarm systems. He installs them. But he's
not going to reroute your electrical.
No, so he comes in as the electrician and then hooks up. So he's still using voltage, but it's low voltage. You're not the one bringing in the actual, electricity to the house. So long story short. From the outside.
Okay.
So probably age 10 to 20, maybe probably 7 to 20.
Yeah,
every summer I worked with my dad. And so we would go into these construction and job sites a lot of times after the electricians have been there and ran power, and I'm seeing these tools that I would see the electricians use, and some of my dad would use some of these exact things, and now it's 22 years later, I'm being reintroduced to them.
And you knew all of them.
I knew out of the 12, I would say I felt comfortable saying I knew 9 of the 12.
Which is insane.
Yeah, because we sat down and had that conversation with him. I had no idea what we were working with, no idea the product, and then all of a sudden it's like,
it's crazy.
I've seen these before. I know what these do.
You just have to be like, okay, well, what I asked for was familiarity.
Familiarity, yeah.
I don't know why that word is so hard for me to say.
Yeah.
And joke's on you because you thought it was going to be in athletics or in football specifically. Yeah. And he said, nah, bruh, I'm going to give you that. I can't say the word.
The familiarity you had when you were 7 years old.
7 to 10 years old.
Yes.
And if you struggle with actually understanding your product, you have a fantastic resource that really knows what it is.
Yeah, it really knows what it is. And it's
how geeked out was your dad when you told him that, though?
He was pretty geeked out because he had heard of the brand, heard the company, ABB, and they're actually based out of Zurich. Their headquarters are right outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, but they're a global company, and they do like a wide variety of things. But long story short, we took this job and we stepped out and we left athletics, left higher education. And so when I was going through the interview process, my champion, i.e. Alanna, was like,
who is it?
Oh my gosh. You've always, we were we had to do a presentation for the interview and we got questions around it. And so she really challenged me to say, hey, you've been doing these things already, but just the things you were marketing were the university. You're marketing a student athlete. You weren't marketing like a tool, and you didn't have to. You were physically there to make the tool, but your
product had a heartbeat.
The product had a heartbeat.
For the first time in your life, your product doesn't breathe.
My product does not breathe.
Woo!
Which is crazy.
Amen.
Stop it. But
it's like there's something so beautiful in the simplicity of that.
I mean, it's definitely...
I'm not saying that your job is now simple. What I'm saying is removing that variable
of a heartbeat and
it's
a lot. And it's something that we both said when you take this job, you also need to realize the structure will be completely different.
Right.
There will be still some travel here and there because some of the manufacturers that I work with who are actually making our products are global, so there might be a little bit of travel. But you ask the question is, okay, but you need to make sure you're still getting that people fix. You still need to make sure that you're seeing that you're able to mentor or have conversations.
Because that is something that you love. So we originally kicked off this episode talking about how I need creativity to help my brain process and calm down and get anxiety. Well, for Steven, he needs human beings.
We need human beings. And so it's also crazy. My first week of work, everything is still adjusting like all global companies in terms of getting back to work and the structure. And I think I saw 3 people the entire week because a lot of them are still, working from home and they're restructuring how they work from home. But it was very different. But seeing the fact that it will be an office setting and it's a lot of people that, depending on what the company's policies will be in terms of coming back to work and working from home, there will be some people interaction. But also, as you know, we have a podcast. We're going to continue growing the podcast. We're going to continue looking at doing other avenues to help the podcast. We're going to still...
How many times did you just say podcast?
I don't know.
Podcast. Sorry.
We're going to keep that in episode or you want to edit it out?
No, that's up to you. Sorry. I just thought it was funny. Sorry, go ahead and make your point. I'm so sorry.
All I was saying was...
Not being insightful and respectful.
Oh my goodness. Well, we were just saying that we can do more with our show.
Because we're not being strung. We're being strung in less directions.
We're being strung in less directions.
Right.
And we have the ability to talk to high schoolers again. We're able to do more in terms of...
Which is also one of your big love languages.
Love language is giving back. So, but, this new opportunity with ABB is exciting for us. The first 6 months are going to be a whirlwind. We're going to learn and grow. But at the same time, we're going to continue to try to find avenues that we are able to give back.
And the biggest thing was just really being open to hearing what a friend had to say, being willing to hear the change, and then taking it and just listening to those around you, like, that you trust.
Yes.
You know, we kept it. It was close to the chest.
It was close to the chest until we got the contract. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a great opportunity for us to make the change. The job was there, and we're excited about the growth in the company. We're excited about the growth in what we can do with our show. And then what the next 6 months are going to bring us. And so at the end of the day, we thank you guys for always tuning in. But we wanted to
I hope you guys don't think Steven is less cool now.
I mean, I think I'm still cool.
Just kidding. Steven was kidding.
And we still have opportunities with our show to pour into guys and give back.
I love how they're still reaching out to you. That's one of my favorite things that I've seen so far.
Yeah, and they support it. It was a very tough decision because that's the piece of the heartbeat. You're just like, ooh, man. Yes.
That's the bad side of the heartbeat.
It's the bad side because you had to say goodbye, but we still talk. A lot of the guys still talk, and we're going to be cheering them on this upcoming season, and we hope for the best, and we'll keep this thing going.
I know, so awesome. So, guys, we just want to challenge you guys to go back, listen to last week's episode, because I think it was a great segue into this week's episode. And just really kind of do a gut check on if you're willing to even think about change, whether it be not going to a nail salon anymore and doing it at home, or are you so inundated with change from 2020 that you're not even open to what is being provided to you right now? I think that's the biggest takeaway, is just change continues to happen even though 2020 was a nightmare. And we want to challenge all of you guys to really have that gut check. Like, where am I? Where do I need to go? What am I actually asking for? Do the pro-cons list of where you are and where you want to go, or where you think you want to go. What are the biggest things that you are longing for right now? Like for us was, stability and family, and that's what we're getting. And we believe that if you really make that pros and cons list and put it out into the world, it may take longer than you want it to take, but in time, it will transform for you. We are so grateful that you guys have been listening to the Mizell Show, that you guys are here for this change. I think that's such a beautiful thing. And it's also really neat for us to be able to talk to you guys about it and to have you guys' feedback and hear you guys be looking at Steven's Instagram and just being ready to find out where he is, what is he doing, and all that kind of stuff. So we're so grateful for you guys, and definitely leave us a review if you haven't yet. And you can always hop over to our Instagram at The Mizell Show, or go over to our website. There's a contact us form if you have any questions or want to connect with us there. It is themizellshow.com. Thanks, guys.
Are you loving the Mizell Show? Well, we love you all. And did you know that you can have me and Steven talk to your team or a group of 25 of your friends? All it takes is 25 people showing up on either a Zoom call, a Facebook Live, or really anywhere. Hopefully in person sooner rather than later. But how do you get us? So all you have to do is email themizellshow@gmail.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram at The Mizell Show.